Let's square up LGBTQ plus civil rights. Vice President Kamala Harris visits Stonewall Inn, vows to support LGBTQ plus.
Tomorrow is the 54th anniversary of Stonewall, and this place represents a real inflection moment in this movement, which is a movement that is about equality, a movement that is about freedom, a movement that is about safety. And I'm here because I also understand not only what we should celebrate in terms of those fighters who fought for fundamental freedoms, but understanding that this fight is not over. When I look at the fact that in our country we're looking at somewhere around 600 bills being proposed or passed, anti-LGBTQ bills, book bans, a policy approach that is don't say gay, people in fear for their life, people afraid to be. These are fundamental issues that point to the need for us to all be vigilant, to stand together. I feel so very strongly, no one should be made to fight alone. And so when it comes to the work I have done for decades now, it is the work that I will continue to do, to stand with the LGBTQ community and fight for freedom and for safety and for fairness and for equality. And I will say that I do feel so very strongly in that this is a fight about our foundational principles as a nation, then fighting with pride is about being a patriot, about loving our country, believing in the promise and the ideals of our country, and fighting to make them real for all people every day. So that's why I'm here today, to celebrate those who stood 54 years ago with such courage and determination, and the inspiration they gave this movement that continues today. Thank you.
On Monday, Vice President Kamala Harris made a surprise visit to the historic Stonewall Bar in Manhattan, where the 1969 uprising sparked the modern LGBTQ plus rights movement and pride events worldwide. In doing so, she became the first sitting vice president to make a stop there. Harris first saw Christopher Park, which is part of the Stonewall National Monument established by former President Barack Obama in 2016. The park sits adjacent to the bar and has been repeatedly targeted by vandals in recent weeks. Harris visited the monument with National Park Service Superintendent Shirley McKinney, who briefed and gave her a tour. One of the bar's owners, Kurt Kelly, and out television personality Andy Cohen welcomed Harris when she made it to the Stonewall Inn. As a small scrum of reporters and photographers and many joyful customers listened intently, Cohen asked Harris to tell something that the community can be optimistic about this Pride season. According to Harris, the Biden-Harris administration will continue to support the LGBTQ plus community in the face of attacks by GOP state legislators and right-wing extremists. Harris posed for selfies with patrons and hung out behind the bar briefly, chatting with people there. If I didn't love her before, I love her now.
Aww.
I love her even.
I need her to be louder, Dino. You know what I mean? Like, I need her to be louder. Like, I love her so much and I respect her so much. And, it's like, wasn't she like a prosecutor? Wasn't she like a legal?
He was the state attorney, California Attorney General.
So she was just screaming and yelling and saying, hey, we need these rights,
Different vice presidents do different things. Mm-hmm. One of the things about being the United States vice president is that they have absolutely no portfolio according to the Constitution. They are literally just a spare person in case the president passes away. As long as the guy's briefing, you're qualified to be vice president. But if she wants to exert herself, she can take on policy briefs that are, about certain things. Dick Cheney do defense. Mike Pence suck up to the religious right. Mm-hmm. I mean, she can do something.
For me, seeing this, it was like so nostalgic because the first time I ran down 7th Avenue, I know I'm from New York, And I've been to that Stonewall many times. And the little park that's being vandalized has a bench with two women embracing and two men embracing. The two women came to Miami Beach Pride a couple of years ago. One of those women passed away about 6 months later from a brain tumor. And since she's passed, it's just like, why are people defacing this thing, right?
Doesn't it have a bust also of Sylvia or somebody? Does it? Did it? I thought
they're adding
okay,
some
they're adding
things.
that to it.
Yeah. But I was thinking, in complete fear back in the 80s, running down the street in Pride, because it goes down that street and then it makes it right down Christopher Street. And being afraid that the police were going to beat you up. We were fighting Ronald Reagan. Like, it was horrific, right? And we were scared. We had to go run down the street and do something because everybody was dying from AIDS. But then you were scared you were going to get fired from your job or get kicked out of your apartment because it wasn't legal to be. And to see a vice president standing in front of Stonewall going, we're with you, like we're on your side. That's huge. You know how big it is to have a vice president of the United States stand in front of your establishment to say, like, we're here for you? I mean, she's won it all over the world. She's standing in front of Stonewall.
Never mind, it's a national monument.
This is huge.
And during Pride Month, it really means a lot that it was still Pride Month, right? Because it was on Monday. And, as we said in the story, they've been vandalized a couple times. So there's 33 Pride flags right in front, and they're beautiful. There's a trans flag, our progressive flag, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's been vandalized 4 different times in the last 2 weeks. Okay, that's horrible.
Horrific.
I don't know if it's like regular New York vandalism or like deliberately targeted vandalism.
No, it's broken and thrown on the floor. It's targeted.
But something I'd like to say that was just so very cool about this story. She hung out behind the bar. I mean, imagine running down 7th Avenue now, walking in to have a beer, and I'll have a Stella Artois. Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. I mean, that's what what people in the neighborhood got to, and it is so cool. And she would be there. President Obama was there. President Biden had that amazing reception earlier this month. Votes matter, and we get these feel-good stories because we voted properly.
That's right.
Remember, who would not be there? Mike Pence, if he were vice president, still.
It'd be illegal. It'd be illegal. To be there.
Yeah, there are people who will not only not come there, they will actively try to shut these places down where they can, because they are here in Florida. Don't let Florida be the blueprint.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.